All right, so now that I have the exhaust and the intercooler piping, all of that stuff tacked up, it's time for me to practice on my welding to get good at it, or sort of good at it, or at least to be consistent to weld everything up. But before that, I gotta clean everything out, man. Working on the intercooler piping, on the exhaust, I left a mess everywhere, and also have some other stuff over here from when my water heater broke. There's the exhaust. So let me clean everything out. I'm gonna get this car pushed out. Want to throw something out there, and whenever I have to do something new or something that I haven't done in a long time, I always get super nervous and almost like anxious, and I start sweating a lot. I don't know why I do that. For example, like whenever I have to speak out in front of people, man, I start getting super bad anxiety. I don't know, it's weird. I've had that since I was a kid. Even if I have to say something like in front of people I already know and I've been around for years, my heart starts like beating really fast. So right now, trying to do something that I haven't done, and man, I think it's probably maybe a year or two since I've tried to do this. I don't know why I feel super nervous. But these are the two pieces that I'm gonna practice with. This is the same type of aluminum as these are here. I'm gonna start off with the aluminum, and then in another video I'll practice my stainless welding. But these are just two extra pieces, and what I did, I went ahead and went over it with the stainless steel brush and kind of cleaned off the edges. I don't know if you can tell. Cleaned off the edges, and then I went over it with some acetone. This is gonna be your best friend. Make sure you have this if you're gonna start like welding, especially like TIG welding. This helps clean everything up really, really well. Of course, you need your gloves. This right here is a foot pedal. This is actually what is controlling the voltage, or how strong the torch is going to be welding. I'm not really sure what the proper words are for it, but this is my torch. I did have a gas lens on it. A gas lens is one of these. It's one of these. It provides a bit more, damn, this thing's all messed up. It provides more argon into the part, but I mean, usually that's really good for like stainless steel. For aluminum, this is going to be more than enough right here. This is a number 5 cup. And then I also went over my rod with some acetone, because I mean, the cleaner you have everything, the better. Like I said, you guys, I am not a professional welder, but I did research and study this a lot, and I know that clean is the biggest, most important thing when it comes down to welding aluminum and stainless. And the only thing I can do is start practicing. I'm gonna start off with 80 amps here. If I have to, I'll bump it up a little bit more. And honestly, you guys, I wish I could explain to you exactly how to do this, but I myself am learning. If I ever get to the point where I know exactly what to do and my welds look good and everything is working, I promise I'll make a video where I explain how to weld, and I'll show you guys how to do everything. But for now, I'll record my progress for you guys, and show you how difficult it can be, because TIG welding is difficult. I mean, it's not something that you learn overnight. This takes practice. I can't stress it enough. It's just practice. All right, guys, and last couple of things here before I get started. Make sure you are comfortable, and make sure you have proper fit up. I needed to use these wrenches to hold the pipe here for keep it from splitting. That's very important. Usually like professional welders, they'll have like blocks and stuff where they can position the pipes. I'm just starting off. I don't have any of that, but maybe one day. Another thing, you see this shirt here? It's one of these fire rated shirts, whatever. Just put it on some sort of a long sleeve because the arc is so strong that you will get burned. I didn't know that. Whenever I started TIG welding, I was just out here with a short sleeve, and I was like, oh, there ain't no sparks, there's nothing like that, I'm not gonna get burned. I went inside and my arms were orange, they were burning. Like it's really strong. So just wear a long sleeve, and I mean, of course, obviously your helmet, but yeah. Burned a hole right away, turning it down 70 amps. I did get attacked though. Made some sort of a bead there. Gotta start somewhere, you guys. It ain't gonna be perfect. Looks like these two pipes don't even fit up properly, so I guess I'll be practicing my fill game, which you shouldn't have that. You should make your pipes fit up perfectly. Alright, so right away I know my issue that I'm having there is I have the tungsten way too far away from the pipe. I need to get it closer, but that's always been my fear of I mean, you're gonna dip the tungsten, you can't avoid that, but I just hate having to clean it. So right now the torch was a little bit too far away and the arc is kind of going everywhere, so I need to get a little bit closer and just try my best not to dip the tungsten. Alright, so now I'm starting to think that I don't have enough amperage. I'm having to hold on to the arc way too long before I get the puddle flowing, and if you stay on the same spot, you overheat the pipe and it just kind of blows through. I was able to get it somewhat connected, but I started to blow through, so I'm gonna turn up the amps about 275 and see how that gets. I don't need these anymore since the pipe's already tacked up. Got some holes in there, but it's tacked up. Oh man, sorry guys, just gotta practice, man. If you don't practice, you're never gonna get better. Patience, patience, patience. Man, I remember why I stopped. Man, this is hard. There we go. Got something going there. I got pretty close to it, and I was a little bit faster with the rod. So the problem with this machine is that, I mean, it's basically like an on and off switch. I have 100% once I push the pedal all the way down. Now, it doesn't have any pulse, anything like that. You can buy a TIG machine that does have a pulse setting, and that basically just makes it really hot, then it kind of cools back, hot, cools back, and that helps a lot with having really nice welds. Mine's more like a manual thing. You have to do it all 100% with your foot. So it's a little bit harder, but I guess what I'm trying to say is if you guys are gonna get a TIG machine, try and get something with the pull setting. All right, guys, so I guess I'm gonna be, 100% real with you guys, right, and show you guys my mistakes. First of all, this is a gap that I'm gonna need to fill in, and I mean, that's good for practice, right? Right here you got a few spots that I blew through. Right here I couldn't dip the tungsten fast enough because as soon as I was getting close to it, it would start melting off, and it actually melted off into this bead here. Blew another hole there, and these are the parts where I was able to get some sort of a bead going. Another few holes that I blew through. So just got to keep on practicing, you guys. So let me go ahead and continue doing this, and I'll show you guys whatever progress I'm able to make. All right, that's about I don't know, maybe 35 minutes of practice. Let me show you my screw ups. So obviously y'all know that pipe here, I kept blowing holes through it and whatnot. So what I did, I started just going over it and trying to practice, or more than anything, trying to get understanding of how many amps I could throw at this thing before I started blowing through some holes again. So I started practicing how to fill the holes. Yes, that looks terrible. Looks really, really bad. I understand. I did all that stuff, just winging it. But then I started trying to actually run some beads. Here's one. Here's another one. That one came out pretty decent. Here's another one. Another one here, and I think this is the same one I just showed you. But see, running the beads on a flat surface like this is not hard. What's hard is once you have to merge two pieces. For example, this is a piece, this is a piece. Right here I had the amps way too low, so I had to heat it up too long before I can get a puddle flowing, and then I was using that really thick rod, and it kind of made a little glob of mess. So I jumped up the amps a little bit, and I started running this one here, but I was using that really thick rod, and it started making it really, really tall. I think if it would have been the 1/16th, I think that's what it is, it would have looked a lot better. But the part's actually really hot now because of how many passes I've gone over it. So I'm gonna let it cool down, and I'm gonna leave it on the 70 amps, and I'm gonna attempt to do this and see what happens. And about 10 minutes later, I was able to do this. Do they look good? No. Do they look better than that? Yeah. Yeah, that's when I was using that really thick rod. But then right here, started getting a little bit better. But then towards the end, I started messing up because the fit up of it is really bad. This side was a lot higher than this side. You can tell right there. So I started to get really hot blowing through it. But practice, you guys. So I'm gonna keep on practicing so I can finally weld these two pipes. Those are the ones for the Supra. And I'll get back to you guys once those pipes are welded. Hopefully they look good, because those parts are going to be visible when you open the hood. If not, it'll be a story to tell on when I was learning how to weld it. So I said, the hell with it, I'm going for it. Man, I am very impatient. I like to get things done fast, and I said, the hell with it, man. I'm gonna go for it, see what happens. Worst case, I'll make a new pipe. Didn't come out as bad as I thought it was gonna come out. There, I did have to go over it. I was almost about to blow a hole through it. It's not bad. God damn, it's just hot. Ow, 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 ow. But I think it's super hot, you guys. So yeah, there you go. That is me practicing for about maybe 2 hours, and I just went for it. Screw it. I mean, it doesn't look the best, doesn't look like professional welds, but at the same time, you know, it's gonna hold. It's completely sealed. It ain't gonna have any boost leaks, that's for sure. So that's all that I cared about. And at the end of the day, you guys, whenever things are not perfect, make a story about it. This is my first attempt at making intercooler piping. I can fab it up, I can mock it up, everything looks good. My welding still needs work, but that's where I started off. I'm gonna have something to talk about. That's exactly where I started off with my welding. And hopefully here in a few years, I'll be able to master this art and do really nice looking welds. Things that I'll be able to maybe one day offer as a service, maybe sell that. I mean, I've always, for many years, I've always had interest in being a fabricator and making turbo kits, making exhaust systems, things that you guys are seeing me learn how to do. So you never know. But I need to get this car cleaned up, and I need to change the cam sensor on it. I need to start taking people out for a spin, get some reaction videos to that cars. But anyways, you guys, there you go. You saw me progress within 2 hours on how to TIG weld aluminum. Enough to where now I can put it on the car and start making some boost. But stay tuned for the stainless. I think that one should be maybe a slightly bit easier. But until then, you guys, keep on watching and learn. You guys can do this stuff one day. Later.